To start with, you were an engineer by qualification, a politician by profession. So, how did it all start, sir?
At some level, the growing up level, once you come off to an age of around 18 years,
Hmm.
you will start questioning yourself and start questioning the society also.
Yeah,
I mean, you'll start interacting. You become more practical.
correct.
You start moving out, interacting. So at this level, you'll come to know your parents interacting with be corporation officials or a BWS official or a desktop. So these are all a learning phase, and you'll see how the garbage is collected. If it is not collected, with whom your parents are in the streets, your friends, how they interact, and who is the person responsible for lifting the garbage, and if there is any leakage of drinking water, you will start reacting. Water is not properly coming to my house. Here, this pipeline on the end of the street, there is a leakage. There are people who are responsible are not doing the correct work. That questions start arising. I mean, it is there for everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
So that questioning and getting the problem fixed, you start working. Some citizens, some people will take this very seriously.
Yeah,
Some will take at a superficial level. So I used to take this seriously and work towards it. And at the same time, when I started doing my engineering, I was passionate towards my education also.
yeah,
So it's not that both can go hand in hand.
correct. Definitely. This definitely is a learning for all of us, sir, that we have to, follow our passion end of the day and not be driven by where we stand. So, sir, you are a corporator of BBMP, and our generation, as you told, we are often unaware of where things start, how things happen, where to question, whom to question. So, to get an understanding on that, how exactly BBMP works, sir?
See, Bangalore, now it has become BBMP of in 2008, about 14 years back.
Yeah,
The judicial governance area before 2008 was around 200 square kilometers. Due to rapid urbanization, the way the city is growing, the way there is daily influx of people from all over the country, it's a challenge for city to work in tandem with the inflow of population to provide basic infrastructure. The agencies which are involved in city to take care of the Bangalore infrastructure, there are multiple agencies like BBMP, BESCOM, BWSSP, BMTC, VDA, Slum Board. So these are all the agencies. But day to day, I would say BBMP, BESCOM, and BWSSP play a major role. I want all the citizens and the youngsters to go in deep and find out what is their roles and responsibilities. For example, BBMP's main responsibility is the first responsibility is to keep the city clean, to lift the garbage in the morning, keep the city clean, hygienic. And the other responsibility is to keep all the roads motorable, walkable footpath, good playgrounds in the areas to be maintained, parks to be maintained, lakes to be maintained and developed. These are the main responsibility of corporation. The other main responsibility of BESCOM is to supply the electricity infrastructure safely and to see the supply is in proper condition.
yeah,
So their infrastructure comes on the side of the road. Electric poles, transformer and substations.
yeah,
BWSSB is to supply, their responsibility is to supply clean drinking water and to have a good sanitation infrastructure, and their infrastructure comes beneath the road, and the manhole should be desilted very oftenly so that there is no clogging of manholes, because if the manholes are not maintained properly, clogging happens, we'll have some diseases in the area where this
Yeah,
problem has
definitely.
happened. But all the responsibilities and all the work happens side of the road or underneath the road or over the road. But we have got multiple agencies which is taking care of this system. We want these agencies to work transparently so that there is no wastage of money towards the development, which each rupee is spent judiciously, and to keep that infrastructure in proper place, there should be better coordination between all these three agencies at very short intervals. Then only we can have a good transparent sustainable
System. Yeah.
development for the city.
Yeah. Sir, that actually brings me to my next question. Yes, awareness and transparency is the key in having a structured and fully functioning system, to benefit the entire public. So there was recently, a set of tweets from your side which talks about the latest developments happening in BBMP, the revenue, the income tax revenue being generated. There is a rise in, the tax revenue generation by the BBMP. So what was the key factor behind all this, sir?
See, I think it is not income tax, it is property tax.
Yeah, property tax.
See, the main source of income for any corporation in any part of the country, or I can say about the country, is through property tax. So property tax earlier, the property tax now also it is paid through self-assessment scheme.
Yeah.
You declare your size of the property, purpose of the use of the property.
Yeah, correct.
Earlier, these were not transparent. This was not transparent, and this is the main source of the income to the corporation.
Correct.
When I became a chairman in 11-12, the first thing I did was to bring all the properties under tax net. Earlier, 2010-11, when I was the member, I got into the details how the property is paid. It was paid through SA scheme, the declaration as I told you earlier, and the number of properties paying the tax were around 7,92,000 properties. Tax collection was somewhere around 450 to 500 crores. But I didn't know whether it was a perfect demand that is being collected by the corporation. Curiosity led me to find out whether the number of properties paying tax in BBMP and the energy meters connection in Discom is one and the same. To everybody's astonishment, the energy meters, number of energy meters in the city was more than 19 lakhs.
Okay.
But we had only 7,92,000 properties paying tax. So that was the time me and my team thought to work out a way and create a system where we will bring in all the properties which are under BBMP jurisdiction under tax net. And when we started this initiative, which is called unique PID number, we got around 16 lakhs 20,000 properties under tax net. When earlier we used to get tax only from 7 lakhs 9,000, 7.9 lakh properties. And when we give a unique PID, today the result is we are getting, our commissioner has declared within 2 months we have collected tax of about 2,000 crores, and this year our target is about 5,500 crores. So, if the transparency system in the governance is brought, you can come to know what difference you can make and what difference it has brought to the system. And this system was identified by Planning Commission of India and later World Governance level, where 99 best cities in the world participated in this program under the best cities like New York, London, Shanghai, Sao Paulo. All these cities participated under efficiency category. This project, which was envisaged in BBMP, which is called as unique PID, it got a first place. This was the first time in the entire country.
This definitely is a huge initiative, sir, because often even though we have resources, the improper utilization of it can, lead to a lot of problems. That is what bifurcates the society, in fact. So this is definitely a huge initiative, and that again brings me to my next similar question. When we say the proper utilization of resources is important, you develop this concept of unaccounted for water, wherein there is proper channelized ways to measure how the water is coming, where it is going, how it is utilized. So can you please explain more about that?
Actually, it is. I'm telling you, it's one of the most important, most relevant project at that time for Bangalore city. I can never know why the BWSSB officials were not. I want to tell you to this media, I don't know why they were not serious about this work, because after many years of implementing this, it was not a rocket science actually. It was just a common sense why they are not taken this step. See, as everybody knows, every day when you see in the paper, you see here and there, in this area water supply was not there. People are to depend on bore water. Till now you see this. But this was very rampant if you see 6-7 years back. Now it has come down. But nobody knew the water coming to Bangalore. I want citizens of this city, all the citizens to know this, 1 crore plus citizens, to know this, that water, what they get in Bangalore city is actually pumped from Kaveri basin every day. And if you know from where it is pumped, if you know the floor levels, Bangalore is at about more than 1,000 feet above ground level of Mysore. Mysore and Bangalore, the head difference is more than 1,000 feet. So, Bangalore is at an higher level. So, it is BESCOM, we use every month nearly 20 crores of rupees is used as paid a bill to 20 crores rupees bill is paid to BESCOM to pump the water from Kaveri basin to Bangalore.
Correct.
The water enters on Kanpur road. It is measured. And this much of quantum of water, for example, 100 liters of water is collected by agency called BWSSB, which is the agency which has been assigned to collect and distribute to the city. When I asked them in 2013, what is the efficiency of your functioning? To my astonishment, it was below 35%.
Oh my God.
I want all the citizens to know the truth. It was below 35%. If, for example, if 100 liters is pumped, the billing was happening only for 35 liters. But everywhere we used to have, every day we used to see in TV and newspaper, this area water supply was not there, that area water supply. That was the time we introduced, we superimposed PID. We took one ward as the example and superimposed PID on the BWSSB mapping of water meters. We came to know in that ward, more than 30% were not having legal connection, but they were getting water supply. And this was the result of one ward. And when we gave this data, then the officials, then the department took care of it and they made it very serious. And that was how this project of unaccounted for water, if you see in Bangalore city, here and there UFW projects are taking place. I think L&T is doing it. A Japanese bank in JICA has funded it at a very low interest rate. And today, the efficiency, I think it has increased more than 65 to 70%. The day will come, it will be more than 80%. And if you see off late, in this one or 2 years, you will not see the rampant water problem in the city. We have observed it.
Yes, sir.
So this is the result of the UFW is the result of PID by bringing in small changes.
Definitely, there was a much needed initiative, sir, because initially when I was like smaller, back days, like 3-4 years ago, we used to hear like a lot about the water problems, water supply being cut, only twice a week water is being provided due to water shortage. So I think this was one of the mandatory initiatives that was needed. But talking about water wastage, that again brings me to my next question. The water problem and the traffic, the Bangalore traffic. Being in Bangalorean, we will understand that Bangalore traffic is one thing which everybody minds, is bothered about. Why did so much traffic increase all of a sudden in Bangalore? Overpopulation, and I myself have been a witness to these scenarios, these instances where there is some construction work going on, water is just swinging through manholes, it's just leaking from the pipes underneath, so there has to be a repair work happening all over again, the roads are closed. So somewhere all of these have contributed for the increase in Bangalore traffic. So how does BBMP look forward to maintain this and bring this problem under control?
Traffic, I think we have a very small role as a responsibility, but the maintenance of road, keeping the road motorable in good condition is a sole responsibility of BBMP.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you ask me about the maintenance, I will, from BBMP point of view, but if you ask me, if I answer you about the traffic, the government is working hard to, the metros, the destination of metro lines have been extended.
Yeah.
Blanket permission has been given by the central government.
Yeah.
And the other day when our beloved Prime Minister was there in the city, suburban rail project has also been approved, and he himself has given a deadline. By this deadline, you have to complete this. So they have taken this this problem of traffic very seriously. And one more question is, I think every Bangalorean would have noticed. Directly, Prime Minister has again approved around 12 corridor projects. 12 corridor projects. And there also he has given the deadline by when it should be clear, so that Bangalore should be devoid of any traffic issues. One is that. I think a lot of effort and thought has gone. If you go back 2 days back when Prime Minister Sir himself gave this deadlines, I think the seriousness is there. One. But if the conditions and the quality of the roads, it is the responsibility of BBMP. I think we have created there was a lot of corruption happening earlier.
Yeah.
We have created a monumental document called the Road History, where each and every road in this city has been measured, the length and width has been measured, the size of the footpaths have been measured, the size of the drains have been measured, the number of electric poles, number of manholes, everything has been brought into the system. And it's been, BBMP have taken it, but to the extent they have not implemented it, but to larger extent, we are utilizing it. BBMP has taken some steps. The corruption has come down by using this, but it is, as you said, if you ask me, it is not been utilized to the expected level. And if it is utilized to the expected level by all the agencies, I'm stressing here, it's by all the agencies, where BESCOM should also use this road history, BWSSP also should use the road history, along with BBMP, and even BDA should also use the road history.
Sure, sir.
If all these four are using it in tandem, one is wastage of taxpayers' money can be brought down drastically, I'm stressing this, and the corruption can be weeded out of the system. I don't know why there is still reluctance. I think there should be pressure from the citizens also. They have to question every now and then why they are not using this, because every street of the which is in front of the citizens' houses, every street has been given unique ID number. Every resident staying in that street should know his ID, and if he types his ID, he has to know what is the project that has been sanctioned from the government, what is the type of the project, what is the cost of the project, he should know, and so that he will be aware of what is the work going on, and if something is not going well, he can question the system. Only if this comes, then we'll have a good governance.
This is definitely a very good initiative, sir. I think the one problem we all had was the lack of awareness, as you told. We weren't aware what we are supposed to do, how we are supposed to do. So, as you said, questioning why is it isn't done, why are you doing it, when will you do it? I think it's very important for all of us to take the matters into our own hands for our good. So, the next question is one of the most discussed, most debated topic, the very, intricate, necessary, fundamental idea which all of us need to contribute to: sustainable development. That has been, the goal for all the nations across the globe since the past era, and a lot of nations have contributed immensely to it as well. Sustainable development includes areas of climate change, healthcare system, proper water and sanitization facilities, and all of it. But we, even today in India, we come across a lot of problems which aren't yet addressed, even in Bangalore for that matter. So we'll address the concern one after the other. To begin with, lakes, sir. Once upon a time, Bangalore was known as the city of lakes, and our major water source was from the lakes. We used to draw channels, extract waters, and that was quite sufficient for us. But in this decade, we hardly get to witness lakes. And even if the lakes are disappearing, they're legally or illegally, they're occupied, and there is residencies coming up in those places. So, is there any initiative BBMP can take towards regenerating those lakes? Are there any policies that are coming up?
See, beautiful question it is. See, Bangalore is the only city in the entire universe, entire world. I think I want to give this information to whomever who have no idea. Any cities that have been developed or which has been planned, it has been planned. If you go back, if you Google, you will come to know it is done on the banks of the river.
Yeah.
This is the only city in the world which has been developed based on interlinking of lakes. 500 years back. That's why till today we always remember the founder of this city, that is Mr. Kempegowda. Nowhere in the entire world, based on the interlinking of the lakes, and again stressing this, a city can be planned. Nobody has thought about it. This is the only city. And today, because of the rapid growth of Bangalore, everybody is interested who was the founder of this city, and now everybody is coming to know the details about Bangalore. Is that. See, the way the city has grown, where there is a rapid pressure of habitation, the interlinking of lakes that is called as you will be reading in the newspapers every now and then. Whenever there is a heavy rainfall, heavy downpour, somewhere some Raj Kalwe giving way and flooding the area. So these Raj Kalwes are the drains which was interlinking the lakes. So most of the Raj Kalwes, they are divided into three categories: primary, secondary, and tertiary. So most of the tertiary and secondary drains which was connecting the primary drains, we have got primary Raj Kalwes like Ebal Valley, Vrishbhavati, Government. These are the four primary Raj Kalwes. So all these primary Raj Kalwes used to get their tributaries from secondary. Secondary used to get from tertiary. Most of the tertiary and secondary have gone because of habitation, and other than habitation also, the rainfall, because all these Raj Kalwes were linking the rainwater to the lakes, directing the rainwater to the lakes, and we used to have in the history what I have studied, it was 339 lakes in the Bengaluru city. Today we hardly have around 160 or 120.
Yeah.
So this is the result of rapid urbanization. Okay, but if I get back to the sustainable development, the question you asked, we are a developing nation. Okay, if you look at the developed countries like US, Europe, and all, they have when they started industrializing their countries to increase the revenue and bring in lot of jobs. They have done lot of activities which have resulted in depleting the natural resources. Okay. Now, for example, if you take in our country also, we are in a developing phase. There, most of the countries who are talking about climate change is a subject, but who are putting pressure, they are all developed nations.
Absolutely.
We are in a process. Yet, the steps taken by our beloved Prime Minister way back when he was Gujarat CM, in creating awareness with respect to renewable energy. He was the first man who gave much importance 15-20 years back for renewable energy by giving lot of incentives for people who wanted to conduct business using or contributing in developing renewable energy like wind and solar. Today, 50% of the country's energy is coming from renewable energy. The initiative what he took way back 20 years. And today, 50% of the energy is coming from because this was the monumental step. Now in Karnataka state also, more than 50%, I am not having the exact figure, more than 50% of the energy is coming from renewable sources. Dependency on coal, it's drastically coming down.
Yeah, it is decreased.
So this is one way of cutting the environmental hazard, which indirectly helps in creating any damage to the climate. One is that. Second is with respect to the lakes, I'll tell you, most of the drains in Bangalore, the Raj Kalwes, they're getting a facelift. Not only the facelift, the water, the rainwater which actually goes into the drains, it's getting filtered. They are planning to reuse it. So that once the reused water, now they're telling all the industries to use this water, treated water, so that the water that is pumped directly from Kaveri Basin, it's used for drinking purpose. So this is also one way of reducing the load on the environment. So indirectly it helps in damaging the climate. So there are a lot of initiatives our government is taking under the guidance of central government, and as a whole the country is in right path in addressing it. But there are some intricacies that are happening because of dependency on the habitation, which is being addressed by the government at all levels.
Correct, sir. Absolutely. I think we as people of this country also bear initiative equally to contribute to it. And another interesting, question or concern which all of us have to address.
One thing I missed a point. If you see this, I want to stress again. I think most of the citizens will not be knowing this. Recently, central government. This is the very, 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 very important initiative taken by only our government. Nowhere in the world any government has taken. It is called as PLI scheme. I'm stressing, nobody will be knowing it. Project performance linked incentives. Whoever in this country wants to invest money to produce batteries, or it is called as cells, EV cells, electrovoltage cells, manufacturing cells. Government of India has given 24,000 crores as the subsidy. This is the only initiative in the entire world any government has taken, that is taken by our Prime Minister, where he is pushing electric vehicle policy to tooth and nail. I think by 2030, our 50% of the vehicles, more than 50% of the vehicles will run on EV. Once it runs on EV, the damage on the environment and the climate change will be very, very minimal.
Yes, sir. It was a very insightful initiative that the government has come up with to switch, the vehicles to the electric mode, which is more environmentally friendly and, prevents from a lot of environmental hazards. Because the carbon pollution is increasing, which is, taking a toll on the climate, the water condition, the air condition, environmental surroundings. And Bangalore particularly was once upon a time known for being the green city. We used to find parks, we used to find forest setups, trees, flower gardens everywhere. But today it's bare minimal, sir. We ourselves as kids growing up, we went to parks, with our family, parents. It was a very loving time. It was more refreshing. But these days there are no parks, even if people want to visit. That has been change over the decades. So how do we get back that those days?
I go with your concern. See, these are all the ill effects of rapid urbanization happening, and the developments are happening. Planned developments are also happening. Illegal developments are also happening. At the same time, due to rapid urbanization, the water flow to the lakes, as I told you earlier, most of the tertiary drains have been closed. So the lake bed is going dry. Now, the horticulture department of BMS, the state government have also taken rapid steps to increase the forest area, and wherever the lakes have been dried up, the blanket permission have been given to develop tree parks, so that the amount of oxygen that has been depleted inside the city due to rapid urbanization, to some extent, to rectify and I think that area, even though I am having not a proper information, proper knowledge about it, but the government, as I see superficially, they are working in tandem. Even in corporation, they have released a lot of funds to regenerate the lakes that are there, and to develop tree parks where the lakes have been dried up. I think that work is happening.
I think this is one initiative which not just Bangalore but all the states have to take up, sir, if we have to progress towards being a healthier nation. So this is very good initiative. But
what has happened
Hmm.
this year, I'll tell you, if you see the amount of money that is spent, if you see the forex of our country, 70% till now, 70% of the amount till now it was spent for buying oil. 70% of the forex amount was utilized to buy
crude oil.
I think I will stress again in here, due to our central government policy, which has been aggressively mooting this under the leadership of B.M.S. By 2030, the forex expenditure on buying oil will come down by 70-80%. This is for sure the way EV policy has been written in the country, and there are lot of subsidies given for all the youngsters. Actually, young minds are driving this country now. If you see, they are coming with a lot of good initiatives, and a lot of industrialists are investing a lot of money on cell manufacturing as well as electric vehicle manufacturing, which have been flooding this country. And I am sure in another 10 years, this problem of climate change will be addressed by our country in a fitting manner.
Definitely, sir. We all look forward to it. And when I say this, we all look forward to it, it definitely makes a part of responsibility on we citizens, we students particularly, to also take up some initiatives and contribute for the cause. It's not just government which can alone handle everything, be in all sectors and do all the work. We as people, we students, as young minds, as you told, should also contribute for the same. So any advice that you would like to give us on how we can contribute for the cause, on how we can develop ideas, how we can develop the very area to the broader spectrum wherein it is more of for the public good?
No, I'm seeing a lot of youngsters. That's why I was stressing again and again. They know what they want to do in their life. It was not there earlier. Now I'm seeing that. I think if they pursue their dream with passion, I think there is a lot of scope for them to bring changes in whatever line they have to choose and bring difference to the society. That is happening. If you see the number of companies, unicorn companies that has been announced, developed in our country, all are below 35 years.
Yeah, sir.
So there is no doubt about it. Only thing is, now youngsters are well aware what they want in life, and I think next era it will be Indian era.
Thank you so much, sir. That definitely had a lot of takeaways for all of us from this session on what we can do, how we can do, what all we should do. So definitely we all should take one step at a time to contributing for the same. And I think this BBMP and other agencies along with the government has done a great job in taking these initiatives. At least 1% of development is 100% of effort, no sir. So thank you so much for being with us. Stay tuned further.